Not recording. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode and another season of Coffee with Father James. Those of you who are Coffee with Father James veterans will recognize that today I'm drinking from the original coffee mug. 4 years ago this week, we had this idea of doing this video thing, and I ran upstairs, and this is the mug I found. It's a Gary Larson Farside mug. I was always a Farside fan. Those of you who have never heard of Farside and Gary Larson, just Google it. Some really funny things, and it's entitled Aerobics in Hell, and it's got 4 people doing aerobics being led by what looks like Lucifer, and he's saying 3 more, 2 more, 1 more, okay, 5 million leg lifts, ready, set, 5 million. So it's Aerobics in Hell, and this was kind of, we'll put it this way, 4 years ago when I first came to this parish, there were a lot of leg lifts that needed to happen. At times it was like, will this ever be over? Because I came to this parish shortly after the merging of 5 communities, 4 locations. We had 14 buildings. It was during COVID. There were a lot of issues, a lot of things that had to be resolved, and indeed the journey seemed to be long. It was going to be a long journey. So that was the context 4 years ago, and I just want to refresh your memory about why it is that we started doing this. You see, every time I've gone to a new parish, I've always taken time to kind of ask the question, where is God leading us? Where is God calling us? And if God really moved powerfully in our midst and in the hearts of our people so that we became a community that spilled over, what would this parish look like if like incredible things happen? And when you have that, what we call vision, vision is like a picture of the future that makes you really excited, that makes it worth doing 5 million leg lifts. And then you have to communicate that vision, like talk to people, see, does this vision, this picture of the future that is in my heart, does that resonate with you? And how do you see it? What's your picture for the future? And how do we impact one another and shape each other's vision? And how do we coalesce around a common vision that we can move forward on? And in every parish I've ever gone to in the past, one of the first things I do, I'd say, well, who are the key people who are really invested in this parish, who have a history, who have been leaders, who have been influencers in this parish? Sometimes it can be staff members or leaders of ministries, or sometimes it's just the person who prays a lot. And what I would often do in the past was I go over for coffee, and we talk over a cup of coffee. We'd share our hearts. And in the work I do with other priests, I often say that in the first year, you have to drink a lot of coffee. You have to go for coffee with people and speak freely from your heart about the future, about where are we going, and the dream for the future. But there was only one problem. You see, it was during COVID. There were no coffee shops, and you couldn't go for coffee with people. It was the mask thing kind of got in the way. And so I was thinking about that and had the idea for this video that, well, I drink a cup of coffee. Hopefully you join me for coffee. And I would speak from my heart, speak about the future, speak about questions such as, where are we going? Why do we do what we're doing? That rather than talking about a specific thing, I mean, there might be a specific thing I talk about that's the occasion for drilling down to a deeper principle. But this is what this coffee video was about. It was really about the deeper principles. Now, perhaps there have been some weeks where maybe I've been less successful in that, perhaps. So that was the idea, and it would be kind of an informal communication. Like I hope sometimes it feels like we're actually having coffee together, because it's not really rehearsed. Like sometimes I sit here, don't tell anyone I said this, but sometimes before the camera comes on, it's like I know like what I want to communicate, but exactly what am I going to say? I don't know. That's kind of like what happens when you go for coffee with someone. You kind of take the moment and you communicate from your heart. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we hope to do. We're at the beginning of our 4th year. 4 years, that means there's over like 200 Coffee with Father James videos. Don't worry, you don't have to go back and watch them all. But it tells quite a story of a journey. We've been on this journey now for 4 years. We're heading into our 5th year. Wow. And although 4 years ago we had 15 million leg lifts, I think we've covered about 14 million so far. I think we've come a long way. And there's not that many left. At least it doesn't seem as foreboding as it did 4 years ago. And that's because so many of you have gotten behind this vision of our future and what kind of parish we can be. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And hey, COVID is over, obviously, but Coffee with Father James still seems to work. So until next week, God bless.